Despite of UDA party winning the Garissa Township Member of Parliament seat with a slim margin against the UDM, intrigues of how the UDA party, rather Azimio-Duale bulldozed the region, are now out in public. Welcome to the Bold Analysis. My name is Kevin Oduor. Governor Ali Roba, who is the party leader of the UDM, in a latest video, has revealed intrigues behind what happened in his home before the by-election. That's what he's saying.
I had to influence the removal of security from myself, including all my houses. And it was very sad. I'm 100% sure the president is not aware. We must be prepared to take full responsibility should any eventuality touching on my security happen anywhere in this country or outside this country. As in the current circumstance, our candidate did not win. We consider still it's a win. One, democracy has prevailed. Two, we have managed to popularize our party much better in Garissa using this by-election. And whoever Allah has written the position for has won, and Major Deko has won, and we respect that. And by the way, just for the record, we've discussed internally as UDM leadership together with our candidate, Nasir Jofle, and we've said there's not going to be any election petition or anything to do with that. We accept that Mr. Deko has won and it's time to provide services, and election is passed and it's over. And that is what it meant for us. Yeah.
Well, as you said, that is what it meant for you. For us outsiders, it appeared like a battle for that region of the country, especially with you, a party leader, and CS Defense Azimio-Duale of UDA, both of you are political heavyweights. Was that, why are you trying to sort of expand the boundaries of Ali Roba in the region to eventually being the political supremo?
I think that is more perceptive than reality. CS Azimio-Duale is a leader in his own right. Had Major Deko been our candidate, yes, UDM party would have been in Garissa.
Now, this has been seen as exposing the hypocrisy because according to him, is that police were withdrawn. His security details were withdrawn a day to that by-election or in the wake of that by-election. But so the question that we ask is, what happened to a statement that never again will police be used to settle or rather to play politics? And are these signals of what we will yet experience in the upcoming general election? It is not a bit shocking because during the last campaigns, Kenya Kwanza took head-on members of cabinet, Uhuru Kenyatta's cabinet, who were seen in the campaign trail with Raila Odinga. And when they came to power, Ruto was categorical that members of civil servants must follow the law and must refrain from playing politics, including the police. But in the just concluded by-election, Kipchumba Murkomen was in Elgeyo Marakwet to campaign for UDA candidate. In the same way, Garissa Azimio-Duale was also in Garissa to campaign for the UDA candidate in the by-election. So there are two members of the cabinet that were all out playing or rather doing politics. This is a departure from what we were actually told in the past. And so I want to look at it this way. What are the signals? And what does it portend? I want to listen to Ruto vowing that never again will police be used.
Our responsibilities to end.
Yes, that's one final question on this, because we have to clear this up.
And let me say it looking at Kenyans.
Yeah. That's your camera.
The office of the president will not be used to use the criminal justice system against my opponents. Any political purpose.
So the guarantee here.
And that I can sign off as William Ruto. It will not happen.
The guarantee here.
I have enough people to help me do politics. I have first myself. I am a politician. I know what to do with politics, right? I don't need the police. I don't need the criminal justice system. I can go and speak to Kenyans. Where I spoke to Kenyans, persuade them, sell them my view. They have my track record. They know what they want. They know. And for your information,
UDM is one of the largest is one of the parties which was under Azimio but crossed over to KK immediately, Kenya Kwanza immediately after elections. They expected to be given the front seats and they crossed alongside PA, which went before, but of course legally after. Our party, MDG, by the Uganda Member of Parliament, and other small parties, including that of MAS that belonged to Kiretu Murungi. So what was the expectation was that because people are looking for interest, you go where you think you can get what you want, and that's where they crossed over to Kenya Kwanza. But they were shocked that they were expecting to be embraced. But what was embraced is the arrival. It is only the arrival that was embraced and televised and used as to gain political capital on the question of legitimacy. But after that, nothing tangible they have actually received from KK. So you can see politics playing out, and Duale factor seems to be a big influence, rather trying to take the center stage of a big influence in the northern corridor. Duale is in the recently has been into two controversies. One is the hijab. Two is what I realized, I think recently when Raila was in Mombasa, that also Sheikh Juma Ngao took a swipe on him, that he was playing politics in the mosque when he went to Swali, and was trying to destroy Sheikh Juma Ngao. In fact, they were talking about a threatening Juma Ngao. So there seems to be a move to consolidate the Muslim vote, and Duale is being around it, trying to do it, to make sure that it's consolidated around him. But I want to tell Governor Ali Roba, Ruto doesn't know. Not that Ruto doesn't know what happened. Ruto knows. Why? The man in charge of police withdrawal and deployment is Kithure Kindiki. It's not Aden Duale. Aden Duale is the CS in charge of defense. And Kithure Kindiki is William Ruto's handman. So any move that can be effected in that direction cannot miss, or rather cannot happen without the input, rather the consent of the PL, the party leader, and the president, William Ruto. So the writing was on the wall. If you are still waiting to get different understanding to it, I don't think that is it. The writing is on the wall. Now, it is. I look at it as a wake-up call to the affiliate parties within Kenya Kwanza, because they're crying out, he's crying out, and it's on behalf of other parties. Remember, this was a party that was forcing off UDA in the by-election, and this is coming at a point where the UDA leadership is mooting a plan to make sure that all the affiliate parties in Kenya Kwanza are merged and they form one big party, UDA, with the wheelbarrow symbol. So it's it. And from that treatment, I agree with a friend who, I think there was a clip during campaign trail, that everything that President Ruto does, it's not a long shot, but it's not a lot of con game in terms of what is being packaged and what is his intention. So to these parties, as much as you embrace and you want something, But again, these are things that you need to put into stake. So, I want us to look at three interpretations to this. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. UDM, I understand, rejected UDA call to stop fielding a candidate in that position so that they can harmonize the ground ahead of the merger with UDA, which they refused, fielded a candidate, and of course, as Ali Roba says, they were embraced by the voters. And they had a very good campaign. I looked at the video clips from that area. I think they had a very smooth campaign. And Ali Roba seems to be holding a ground that he is a bit cautious of folding the UDM party to UDA, but would rather remain under UDM but support and remain free to make any other political choice. And this is something that the parties must be very careful. When you merge and you form one party called UDA, it's going to limit even the democracy of voters, because parties are normally vehicles to blind voters. So, for example, in Nairobi, we have other people who would want to be governor, women rep, and senator. And that intercompetition between Ford Kenya candidate, ANC, UDA will not be there. And when President Ruto forms that big party UDA, it will successfully be used to kill ambitions of politicians, like what happened in the Jubilee Party. After realizing that Jubilee Party became the best political party that voters in Mount Kenya and other regions in Mount Kenya wanted to associate with, he successfully dashed off the political ambitions of the likes of Waititus and Kabogo. So this is something that must be, and they must look at it very carefully. Otherwise, it will be the end of many political ambitions, and it will take them time. You will get then another 5 years, then get back. So it must really be controlled. Number two, it signals of coercion. That even though we've been thinking of sanity in politics, we are far from it, and we might experience coercion even in future. But this exposes the sense of entitlement, where people do things. It should worry President that if he was not aware of what happened, then it should worry him that people are doing things behind the scenes. That's my take.